Hello, this is Oli Vargas reporting for Mint Press News. I'm here in Bolivia at a union meeting at the Central Chimoré in Bolivia's Chapare region, which is the stronghold for the movement towards socialism, Evo Morales' party. They gathered here today to discuss how they plan to organize political resistance to the coup and organize for upcoming elections in which their party, the movement towards socialism, will be standing. Now, the campesinos, this is a union of campesinos, which is agricultural workers, workers who were granted pieces of land during the 2006 land reform under Evo Morales. So everyone is very, very supportive of Evo Morales' party, and those who are very keen to have international journalists come here to show how organised they are against the coup. They're particularly keen to show the size of their meetings, to show how well they're organised. So I'll just show that around here. Here at the top table are the leadership of this union. And if we move around a bit, we'll see the size of the meeting. As we can see, this is quite a large meeting. Attendance is obligatory for all union members, and all members take part in discussions of political questions. They contribute, make proposals about how they can campaign for Evo Morales' party, about how they can strengthen the party and strengthen their own union as well. So I'll move it back around. You can see the meeting is quite large. And that's because the unions in this region, in the Chapare region, are incredibly well organized. So this is one central, they call it. Within one federation, there are 30 centrales, and there are 6 federations across this region. So there's a very, very tight level of organization that hasn't been broken by the coup. And here today they've been discussing the need for unity. They say that the Bolivian right wing is incredibly divided. So if the leftists get to be able to win at the polls, then they have to stay united. There has been some talk about possible divisions within the social movements, the labor unions and campesino unions that form the movement towards socialism. But they're here today to try and strengthen the unity on the ground. And these meetings have been taking place right across the country over the past few weeks, precisely for that reason, to go back to the bases, to rank and file, and strengthen the unity of the movements so that they're in a better position to face down the coup, to resist the coup. Because the coup has been trying to overplay divisions, to be able to railroad the social movements that form the movement towards socialism. Because the movement towards socialism, Evo Morales' party is not a traditional political party. It's actually a coalition of different indigenous groups, rural workers, unions, labor unions. So if that coalition can remain united, then people here say they're very confident about their ability to resist the coup and defeat the coup. So one of the things important issues they've been talking about just now is the possible return of the DEA to the Chapare. Now the DEA actually had bases in this region before Evo Morales came to power, and they had bases here to try and eliminate the coca crop. And to do that, there's a very, very brutal repression during that period. There was military curfews, and actually the DEA commanders all of the military operations by the Bolivian military were under the command of the DEA. So people here said that was a gross violation of the sovereignty of Bolivia. Now, when Evo Morales came to power, he expelled the DEA along with all the other US military bases in the country. However, now that the coup has won, has taken over the government, there's a lot of talk that the DEA could be returning and remilitarizing this region, and that causes huge concern, precisely because of the violence and the repression that this region faced in the past. So I'm going to pan back around to see the size of the meeting. Again, this is a meeting of the Central Chimoré in Bolivia's Chapare region. This region is probably the most organized of the social movements in Bolivia that support Evo Morales and that are opposing the coup. The size of this meeting is very normal. Every meeting I've been to in this region has been extremely large. These unions are incredibly well organized. Another important news item we've been discussing today is the possible divisions within the party of the MAS. There's news today that Eva Copa, who is one of the leading parliamentarians of the movement towards socialism, will travel to Argentina to meet with President Evo Morales. Now they say that this is promising news because Eva Copa has been very critical, in fact, of Evo Morales since the coup. So they're hoping that can bring her going there, can bring the party back together, and ensure that the MAS is united in any upcoming elections, and to ensure that it's in fact the right that will remain divided. So just behind me is the federation leader. He's the union leader for this region, for this part of the Chapare, the Chimoré. It's one of the main towns in this region. You can just listen to some of his words.
Me parece que en el momento, compañeros, no se han hecho presentes y, compañeros, creo que esa ausencia, compañeros, la oposición se ha aprovechado. Compañeros, nosotros con la resistencia estamos bloqueando, Sacaba, aquí en el trópico, en otros lados más, pero, compañeros,
part of what he's discussing is, he said that all members must stay on alert, all trade unionists here must stay on alert to take action against the coup, be ready to be mobilized against the coup at any moment, and that no one must let their guard down, because obviously the stakes are extremely high.
Llamamos que sea ella, a la señora Eva Copa. Compañeros, por eso hemos dicho, ya se ha volcado, nos ha traicionado. Compañeros, el 22 cierra, no sé si han escuchado, compañeros, ahora, como está en sus manos, compañeros.
So he's talking now that the 22nd of January will be a day of mobilizations against the coup. They say that 22nd of January is their constitutional end of the current regime, the current self-declared president, Jenny Náñez. They say if she's still in power after the 22nd, they will be mobilizing across Bolivia.
Su gestión de nuestros asambleístas. Esos días va a salir, compañeros, como está en sus manos, compañeros, Tribunal Supremo de Justicia Plurinacional, compañeros, yo no más pienso, más seguro va a admitir o sí va a decir, compañeros. Pero, compañeros, compañeros que están manejando ahora, ellos ese proyecto han hecho, lo han remitido a la asamblea, la Eva Copa ha dado visto bueno, mandaremos al tribunal.
He's now talking about the controversial lawmaker Eva Copa. He's saying that she has betrayed the movement towards socialism and broken the unity that existed within the MAS. So I'm going to walk through the meeting to give viewers a sense of who's here. There we go. This is the size of the meeting. These are rural workers coca farmers, but not just coca. People here farm fishermen, they farm other agricultural products, fruits, rice, cheese. People here are overwhelmingly indigenous. Meetings often take place in the native Quechua.
Compañeros, y el 22 le tomamos, compañeros, hasta romper, compañeros.
The leader at the stage is talking about the need to mobilize big protests on the 22nd of January against the coup.
¿No es cierto? Eso quiero inculcarles, compañeros.
As we can see, the size of the meeting is very large. There's overwhelmingly indigenous campesinos, and it can be seen in the art at the top stage. You can see a mural of Che Guevara alongside the indigenous Huipala flag and the Bolivian flag, and on the other side is a portrait of Marcelo Quiroga, a famous socialist leader in Bolivia, who was killed the last time there was a military coup in Bolivia. So we'll go back towards the main stage.
Si quieren retornar, que retornen por su propia cuenta. Como el Murillo dice, compañeros, si no hay policía, no hay elecciones en el trópico. Esa amenaza también ahí. ¿Por qué? Porque no hay la presencia del Estado. Eso es absurdo, compañeros. ¿Cómo no va a haber la presencia del Estado? Hay, compañeros, la alcaldía 10, compañeros.
So the union leader on the stage is talking about possible threats by the government, saying that elections may not be, the people here might not be allowed to vote if they don't allow the police to re-enter. Now this region is doesn't have a presence of police. I see Daphne Stagg is saying, who is mobilizing across Bolivia? So this meeting is of the Coca Growers Union, the Agricultural Workers Union in the town of Chimoré in Bolivia's Chapare region. This is the strongest base of Evo Morales' movement towards socialism party. And they'll be mobilizing on the 22nd of January against the coup. They're mobilizing on 22nd January against the coup because they say that is the constitutional end of Janine Áñez's term. As I was saying, there's actually no presence of the police in this region. When the coup was taking place, the police and military fled, and then union members here surrounded the police and military stations to denounce the coup. They've now said that the police and military are not allowed to return to this region unless they get on their knees and beg for forgiveness for the violence they carried out during the coup. It's important to stress that the trade unionists here, those behind us, they say that they still recognize Evo Morales as the legitimate president of Bolivia. They do not recognize the coup regime.
Como alguien dice, nos sacamos la mierda, así. Hay más que van a perder, compañeros. Compañeros, al respecto de los policías, eso es, compañeros. No tienen cara, compañeros. Ellos no tienen moral, compañeros. Por eso no están entrando.
So the union leader on the stage is just talking about, saying that the police are not allowed to return. He says they are corrupt, they don't support the people, and they will not be permitted to come back into this region. The police stations are currently empty, and there has been talks of a possible military attack by the national government to reimpose the presence of the police and of the military. This is the fact that the police and the military not here has allowed people to organize openly, leftists to organize openly, without the fear of persecution, precisely because there is no police in this region, and that's why they can still hold meetings of this size. Due to political persecution, it will be difficult to hold these types of meetings in place in cities like La Paz, Cochabamba, and Santa Cruz. So I'm gonna end this live. Thank you for watching. I hope viewers can get a sense of the strength of the organisation, the union organisation that there is behind Evo Morales' party, and the strength of the movement that will be facing down and resisting the coup, the US-backed coup. Thank you.